All right. Welcome to Debate Brigade, the show where we debate all things K-pop.
자기야 이거 봐봐.
Today, we will enter our third installment surrounding the question, who's the best boy group to debut in 2020? After today, this is our last argument portion of Debate Brigade. And next week, we'll have our final thoughts and conclusions. And then next week, you guys get to vote over who wins the title of Princess Fire Baby. So the rules of Debate Brigade, as always, the arguer gets 1 minute to introduce their choice and then 1 minute to make their actual argument. Then the other two non-arguers get to ask 2 questions each.
Let's get ready to rumble.
No, wait until you hear this argument. I will be winning.
It has begun.
All right. It's my pleasure to introduce a 10-member boy group that debuted on April 1st, 2020. Originally created by Mnet's To Be World Class, this group debuted under both NCH Entertainment and Stone Music Entertainment. 2, or TOO, which is a moniker for 10 Oriented Orchestra, that literally means an orchestra oriented towards 10 Asian values. The first of which is represented in their first mini album, Reason for Being, Benevolence. Jaehyun, Chiyoon, Dogyeon, Chan, Jisoo, Minsu, Jaeyu, Kyungho, Jerome, and Woongi are 10 talented young men for whom I would like to argue the title of Best Debut Boy Group of 2020.
Nice.
Did I make it in
Oh,
60 seconds?
You still got like 6 seconds left.
Awesome. Yes.
Just waiting for this timer to go down and
Fight!
So, what makes this boy group so great? First of all, they are driven. Within a month after their debut, they appeared on Road to Kingdom to compete against other far more experienced boy groups. They didn't win, but I did think that their performances were really impressive. So also, they're not only here to perform the work of other artists. There is not one song on their second mini album that does not credit at least 2 members of this group for writing. So for a new group, that's not only surprising, but super impressive because several of these songs are the very songs that can be found on their popular release list on Spotify. So these boys have not only taken the initiative to be creators, but also dictators of their own success, which is so much needed in the K-pop industry right now. Bam.
yeah, 6 seconds left.
Yeah, wow. Well,
All right. So now that she has given us her argument, it's time for the question.
Round 1.
All right, I have my first question.
all right.
You mentioned that their second mini album had a lot of music on it that was credited to the artists, as well as being kind of more focused towards those artists. Their first album that they came up with, was it also kind of the same, or did they have to go through the same thing as most groups where your first album has a lot of features, maybe even some covers, and then you move on to being able to write your own music?
They have 2 mini albums, but their first mini album has only 1 song out of 5 that does credit 3 of the members of the group. So 1 out of 5 credits members. The other ones are by other people. And written largely
they had to
outside
go
of
through
the
that
group.
growing pain of having to play other people's music to kind of be heard. Maybe that's why we haven't
Yeah.
heard of them. Okay, so my second question. In a group that has a lot of members, I am aware of the woes that can kind of happen with groups of larger members. And you named all the names of the members, which means you're at least intimate of them as people. So I'm assuming, and my question is, do they have a lot of outreach to fans? My actual question, why haven't we really heard of them?
Wow. Your question is why you haven't heard of them?
Yes.
In your particular case or in general?
In general, like what's keeping them from being mainstream?
I think they absolutely are mainstream. They are a very popular group right now. Like the fact that you haven't heard of them is actually kind of surprising. Even though they only have 2 albums, they've been on they were on Road to Kingdom, which is like a thing, and that had Pentagon and The Boys and like other groups like that.
I was watching that particular, and that's why I'm kind of surprised to hear that they were on it, because like I remember Pentagon and I remember The Boys, because they were actually.
Yeah, you just don't remember them.
Yeah, I just don't remember. Like, and you know, that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad in any way. I'm not coming for them in any way. It just kind of shocks me that they wouldn't leave that imprint, and they seem to have left that imprint on you. So I'm just kind of asking, what to you made them kind of stand out in that way?
I saw them and I thought they were lovely. So I first saw them on the Road to Kingdom because I was watching it because I have like an affinity for other groups. And even though they didn't they didn't make it that far in the competition, I was still just like, wait, these boys debuted 3 weeks ago. Like, how are they going up against these other groups? So things like that. They were really talented. And to be honest, on that show, they did a dance rendition of BTS's On, and it was baller. So they're pretty well known, I would say.
Dope. Well, those were my questions.
What you got for me, Danny?
Okay.
Round 2.
I want to know, in your personal opinion as a fan, what is one area that you would like to see them improve at the most?
I think right now, with these 2 mini albums, they don't really have a clear identity. Like, I know that the second one had a lot more of their involvement in it, but it's the identity, the feel is extremely different from their first one. So I would really like to see like who they are as a group kind of become more well formulated.
My second question was then, as someone who may not be a fan, who wants to get to know them better, what is one song that sums them up as a group?
Well, that's a hard question.
Yeah.
Or where
Considering my answer for the last one. I would say the one song that kind of shows a lot of different aspects to their talent is Twilight. So that shows a good amount of different kinds of feels, and it was written by partially written by some of the members. So Twilight. I would say it's a pretty good answer for that question.
Team Edward. What? What'd you say?
Yeah.
What? Danny, don't say divisive and dividing things like that on our channel. We don't need that negativity.
That was my argument, guys. Thanks for listening. Next week, we have our final conclusions from all 3, so definitely stay tuned. Thank you guys so much. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Annyeong.
Hey.
Annyeong.
Bum, 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 bum. That should be perfectly good.
Okay.